right. So I watched Saturday night's main event. I was pretty excited for it because Drew McIntyre was coming back. I was happy for that. So before I get into this, I would like to say I miss my co-host. I hope I see him this week. Um, so we ended up getting the start of the pay-per-view, or the PLE rather, with Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre. Respectively, they had Jelly Roll on Randy Orton's side, and Drew McIntyre had Logan Paul on his side. So it was kind of like, celebrities, I guess, but Logan Paul's a really good wrestler, so I don't know how to say that. Um, so basically, they were together. The match was back and forth. They both ended up hitting each other on the announce table, but did not break it. Um, so there was a point in the match when Logan Paul was got distracted Randy Orton, um, and then Jelly Roll ended up getting Logan, and the crowd popped pretty huge for that. Drew McIntyre tried to get a Claymore kick, but Orton went ahead and got an RKO and ended up winning. And then after the bell, Drew McIntyre laid out Jelly Roll with a Claymore after a scuffle had ended up after Logan Paul went after Randy Orton directly after the match, and they pretty much just set up a tag team match for SummerSlam. I believe it's going to be Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. Um, I really like the lead up to this match more than anything. I really enjoyed Logan Paul's statements on, I believe it was SmackDown, that really got me. Um, and then the second segment was Solo Sokoa and Jimmy Uso, his real life big brother. High stakes, high emotions, plenty of interference. We got the MFTs coming out. Um, Tala Tonga, JC Mateo, and Tonga Loa. Tama Tonga is still out right now, apparently. That's going to be awesome when he comes back. He's one of my favorites. I remember when he was in New Japan. Um, and so basically, there was a huge beatdown. He was able to, Solo Sikoa was able to get him for a quick three to win the match. I mean, it was just a regular bloodline match, as you can expect. They had a great performance. The crowd was very into it. And after the match, of course, they all just started beating uh, Big Jim down. And then Jacob Fatu ended up coming down to a huge reaction. He came out with a ski mask on. That was pretty cool. I like that. And then he took it off as he was running down to the ring, basically cleared the ring. Tala Tonga went, gave him a big boot. It took him down, but Jacob Fatu wasn't down for long. And it was just one of those things where you can tell that there's going to be a big match between those two. And as big as Tala Tonga is, it's still believable that Jacob Fatu might go ahead and get. And then L.A. Knight ended up beating Seth Rollins. It was one of the matches that I really wanted to see on this because I love LA Knight and I you know love Seth Rollins, so it was going to be interesting to see that. And um, the match actually went pretty quick, but it looks like Seth Rollins, when he was trying to do a lion salt, ended up blowing his knee out, and it from what I've read and everything, it looks like the match had to end pretty quick, and it wasn't really what was supposed to happen. Um, so LA Knight got away with a BFT. Um, and that was, I mean, it sucks that it happened that way, but I'm still happy LA Knight won because he always loses the matches I really want him to win. So, you know, uh, but Seth Rollins is awesome. I hope he gets well soon. I hope that nothing crazy happened. That's, you know, very awesome that LA Knight won, but still at the same time, it sucks that Seth got injured because he's one of my favorite people on the show. I always really enjoy seeing him. And then they did have the the heavyweight championship, and that was Gunther and Goldberg. And this one I wasn't really looking too much forward to because I'm not a great fan of Goldberg in 2025. Um, but they say it's going to be his last match ever. I really, really like Gunther. Um, he's been one of my favorites since he used to have the name Walter. Um, I was actually pretty surprised during this match because Goldberg's actually in really good shape. He actually can still wrestle. I was surprised at how well he did in the ring. Um, I am always amazed at Gunther's performances. He's amazing in the ring. I love every match he has. Um, they were telling a story within the match about the referee Charles Robinson being the same one who refereed a lot of Goldberg's matches and the one who refereed the championship match against Hogan. And accidentally during the match, Goldberg actually speared Charles Robinson, um, which would have been the second time that he has taken a crazy bump. So that's amazing, Charles Robinson, because he just get blocked over by John Cena not too long ago. Um, During the match, Goldberg he had a knee brace on the whole time. For I don't remember what the storyline or real life reason was, but Gunther ended up uh, removing it, and he was about to go into a brutal attack, and then Gage, which is Goldberg's son, ended up jumping in to stop it, and then we go on to where Goldberg, of course, he had a spear, then he had a jackhammer, but it actually wasn't enough for Gunther, and Gunther locked in the sleeper hold, put Gunther out, and retained the title. After the match, Goldberg I think he gave a little bit of a retirement speech, maybe, but at least what I watched, it got kind of cut off. So I only saw a couple sentences of it. And that was basically the PLE. There was a spot in here where they were doing the, look at who's ringside or whatever. And they showed that Jade Cargill was in the audience, and that is when Naomi came out and attacked her from behind. And then Nick Aldis ended up coming down to the ring and said, "Hey, there's going to be a special guest referee in this match." And then it turns out that the special guest referee is going to be Bianca Belair. So that actually was a really, really cool moment in the show. And I'm glad that like the build and everything to this has been amazing. Naomi has actually really, really piqued my interest in her new role as a quote unquote bad girl. And um, the caution tape entrance and her new entrance song that's like metal, like I really, really like that. And so overall, I would say it was a great PLE. I'm surprised they were able to build up this much story between the last time that they did a big event, which wasn't long ago. Um, so, the Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre match is really just kind of a setup to Jelly Roll and Logan Paul. Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso is basically, coming back to Jacob Fatu rolling that story out longer. LA Knight wins due to injury, but possibly, I'm not even really sure. And then Goldberg uh, does his last match. It was probably one of the most memorable Saturday night main events we had in a while. Um, And that's really my thoughts on that. If you liked it, hit like or subscribe, leave a comment, whatever. Um, and maybe I'll be back for Evolution. I'm not quite sure. Thank you for watching.